back to Two Chicks, One Vibe. We are excited about this upcoming episode. Lots of really good stuff to chat about and all that good stuff. But before we get into it, how was your week?
You really sound like a real reporter.
Do I? All officious and whatnot?
Listen, all those Ebony magazines and Jet magazines that
That
you
I
was
was
reading in the
reading?
bathroom, they're paying off, honey.
Well, don't let me start reading copy on you. But anyway, let us proceed.
I'm doing good. Have no complaints. Living life,
Okay.
paying bills, working, all
That's
those
another
things.
whole story.
Adulting.
Adulting.
Yes.
Who
Which I
told us
hear is a
this was
hoax.
going to be, yeah. I don't know why we couldn't wait to do this shit.
I could have waited.
Me too. I just didn't want the part of living at home with mama now. I wanted to stay in college forever.
Oh, well,
I know you did. Without the studying. Because that's what you did your first time, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That part.
That part.
How are you?
I'm good. My dishwasher blew up.
Listen, part of adulting.
Yeah, it was a Monday night right before bed, and it was like clank, 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 and then the smoke just starts.
Not the smoke.
The smoke was
Oh,
billowing
my.
out of the little vent area, and just filled the kitchen with
Oh,
like
my
electrical
goodness.
fire smoke. And so then when I opened the dishwasher, because I was like, oh my God, normally I go straight to bed
Mm-hmm.
when I turn the dishwasher on. But for some reason, I was hanging out. And that happened. So I ran over and opened it. I had just got my hair done, and the water was spraying. So it was a rough hair week last week because this part right here got real nappy, and some of the other parts at the front because of this dishwater, and it was dirty dishwater.
Listen, nappy is a word that I have not heard in a long time.
What do we call it now?
I don't know. And clearly it depends on who says it. So, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
that is true. That's true. But there's really no other way to describe that.
I actually do not use my dishwasher. I use it to drain dishes.
Me too now.
But I never used it to wash dishes, which is crazy, right? It's
It
a
is
dishwasher.
crazy.
But I only use it to drain dishes, but I also run the dishwasher,
Just to
from
keep it
time to
up.
time. Yeah.
Well, I have a good friend. You know her. With a mutual friend. She did not use her dishwasher to wash the dishes, and I was like, "But the water's so hot, it sanitizes the dishes." So like I wash the dishes before I put them in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah.
food and stuff. I don't like that. They
Yeah.
have food stuck to it and like peanut butter and old corn and
Yeah.
I don't like that. But you put it in, it sanitizes, and then you're good.
That's true.
But after 29 years, that dishwasher didn't owe me nothing.
Dishwasher's like, girl,
I'm out.
I'm
And I had
out.
just said like the previous week, I was like, damn, you all right.
You had talked to the
I had
dishwasher.
talked to the dishwasher. I was like, damn, you still kicking it in 29 years. And then I was like, you don't owe me nothing. And after that, my dishwasher was like, I'm glad you told me because I'm done.
Interesting that you did that pep talk to the dishwasher.
Is that what you call it, a pep talk? I was like,
That somehow falls in line with today's topic.
oh, you know what? It sure does. I see. I like how you did that. Okay? I would not have done that, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, to our audience, today we want to have some dialogue about self talk. Self talk is something that I don't think people realize how critical it is to like your mindset, how you function, how it affects your brain and just sort of how
Your
you
health,
move
even.
forward. Right, your health.
Yeah.
So this is what we want to talk about. We want to talk a little bit about self talk and maybe give you all some tips, or give ourselves some tips also
For sure.
on how to, really sort of be intentional about recognizing it. And then also, how to kind of start turning that language around,
Hmm.
transforming that language into something more positive. So,
That sounds good to me because it is much needed. It is very timely,
hmm,
especially with everything going on in the world. It is
yeah.
really easy to get trapped in kind of negative self talk
Hmm.
just because we got a whole lot of foolishness going on. And so it just kind of uh, it's heavy.
Yeah.
And so we might find that the way that we start talking to ourselves is a little bit heavy. We're dealing with different stressors now. Everything is high, as my mama would say. That's
Yeah.
high. That's high. Everything's more expensive. So whereas before you might not have been feeling the squeeze financially, you might be feeling a little discomfort, and then that starts affecting yourself. So there's just a million different ways that we're impacted by
Yeah.
what's going on in the world and how we talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
So
And you're right, because there is so much going on, it's like we probably don't pay attention to
that's
what we're
right.
saying to
Hmm.
ourselves. So there's so many distractions.
Well,
Hmm. Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out the merch.
The branded T-shirts and cue
I'm just
cards.
saying,
Bringing it together slowly but surely,
fine
baby steps.
tuning, as it were.
So yes, thanks for pointing that out. So let's get into it. Like, what is self-talk? And we Sherry and I try to do our research, whether it be, simply Googling some topics to get to see, what's out there, like what type of information is out there, but also with this, digging a little deeper.
Hmm.
I had read some information from an article that came from NIH also. But just to sort of level set with this, self talk is a systematic use of cue words in a silent or vocalized dialogue with oneself. It's an inner dialogue, conscious or unconscious, which I think is important.
Hmm.
And it isn't just words, it's an internal experience that shapes decisions, emotions, and confidence.
Hmm.
So,
I think that's interesting, and not to delve too deep into like all the different types of self talk,
mhm.
but I find it interesting. I was just having a conversation with my son, and he knows of a young lady who doesn't have an inner dialogue with words. So, like, I have full on conversations with myself.
Same.
Like, I can solve the world's problems. I can't solve any of my own, but it just and it's constant. It is a constant conversation. So sometimes I'm in the house with nothing on, right?
Hmm.
Because it's so loud in my head. There's no need to have the TV on. I don't need any background noise. I can entertain myself, all of that. But there are people in the world who it's more of a feeling or an
Hmm.
experience, or you know um, just different sensory type of
Hmm.
experiences, which is what they call, which is their inner dialogue. Or their self-talk. It's not really talk, but it's just a different experience. So I don't want to
Hmm.
assume that everyone has the same type of
Yeah.
self-talk like you
Yeah.
and I, like we do.
Hmm.
Some people have something totally different.
That's interesting. That would be interesting to delve deeper into, to hear from someone whose self talk is not necessarily a conversation with yourself or words, but it's something different.
Right. Because what would the I have no idea what that would even feel like.
Right. Yeah. Me either. Me
because
either.
because I got a lot to say. Did I tell you, like, in our first episode, when I may not have told you the story, but when I was a little girl, my mother used to call me radio.
No.
She called me radio. She said because I want to unplug you and put you in the back of the closet because I was just constantly talking.
Really?
Always, like from the time I could say any words, that was it. I was just talking. And so I continue that in my head when I'm by myself or, whatever. So it's just, I would really be interested in talking to someone
Hmm.
who doesn't have that experience.
But why do you think? So you, as a child, you were, and children, are chatty by nature, but you don't do that now. You don't. Do you not like what changed with you being like you? What am I trying to say? Like um you expressed yourself,
Hmm.
but what switched from you verbalizing all those things to now having these internal conversations with yourself? Or maybe it's just life. Like I think, well, I don't want to tell you
No,
what
no,
it is.
go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
no, I just think, first of all, life happens. And then I think also, especially for Black women, which is something I know we were going to touch on, but being in corporate America, there is something, there's a dog here.
There's two. Shout out to Stitch and King.
As he yawns. I think that there is something, at least I feel like there was something that happened to me. Like I've never been the most verbal person,
Hmm.
but I've always, as an introvert, I always have conversations in my head
Hmm.
about what I see or what I think is happening, whether it is on point or not, whether it's accurate
Hmm.
or not.
Right, but that's the story
I
you
can
going
create
with.
my stories.
Right.
And so, but for me, which may be very different for you, as I have had life experiences, those conversations have multiplied. Um,
Mm.
and I think for me, some of it is being in corporate America and dealing with,
Stuff.
all types of stuff, that Black women deal with in corporate America and that women deal with in
Hmm.
corporate America. And so I just think that those conversations have just multiplied. And I am therefore very careful of what comes out of my mouth because,
Mm.
you know, so
Interesting.
I was wondering with you as a chat, because I was not a chatty child.
Hmm.
As a chatty child, what do you think changed in terms of you being so verbal then and then now as a grown up, who has experienced things? Do you do you feel that those conversations that you have in your head that they come out of your mouth?
Not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are not for public consumption at
Right.
all, but most do.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm not the type of person that if I think it's immediately coming out.
yeah.
Somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I've had to rein that in because not everyone gets the joke. Not everyone can appreciate the commentary. So
Yeah.
so that's kind of a lived experience, and in my mind that's a little different than the self talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes you just have to shut up and stop talking because yeah, it's not appropriate.
Mm. I think
But
I've missed a couple of your jokes before, which happens.
probably,
It
yeah, that
happens.
happens.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the science behind. And listen, we're not claiming to be experts on anything,
Nope.
but we just want to share, information, provide you all with information that we, have that we hope will be helpful to you all around this topic. And so when we talk about like the science behind self-talk, it is a little about like how does self-talk influence the brain chemistry and emotions.
Hmm.
And so from this article that I found that came out of NIH, research shows that positive self-talk stimulates, it's kind of, what makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Positive self-talk stimulates the release of serotonin, which helps regulate mood and reduce stress levels. That makes sense, right? Um, but I guess the question is, so let me just say this. On the flip side, harsh self criticism triggers the release of cortisol,
Mm-hmm.
the stress hormone that can cloud judgment and dampen emotional regulation. So, these things make sense. The question is, do most people have a balance of,
No,
right, right.
absolutely
So
not.
everybody's cortisol levels is like
Hi.
elevated.
Yeah, it's high.
And
No question. No
yeah.
question. But I think that's also part of
He looked like, what are you doing?
no,
Listen, y'all, this dog is just like a person. I'm not even gonna lie. Sherry pushed him away and he looked there like, what are you doing? Anyway, go ahead.
so it's almost as if whatever negative thoughts we have about ourselves and things like that, I'll speak from my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever negative experience or thoughts I've had about myself
Mm-hmm.
as a child,
Mm-hmm.
when I leave, the child environment, whether it be school or, home, whatever, you just kind of pick up where those people left off.
Right.
And so you continue to play that loop of whatever. And truth be told, those people really didn't even say those things to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you've interpreted a look or a thought or an experience, and you've because we look at things through a very negative lens
Yeah.
most often,
Right.
right? Except I'll say my son,
Mm-hmm.
because when he was a little boy and like playing soccer, if for whatever reason I couldn't make it to a game, I'd be like, "Oh, how'd you play?" I played fantastic. I was so good. And I was like, I've seen you play before. Like, no disrespect, Jared, but
Right, because is
um,
Jared gonna watch this?
he might watch it. But it's true. Like, everything, the way that he internalized everything was very positive.
Mm.
His whole experience, and I have a girlfriend too who just never internalized any bad stuff. Like, she just
Mm.
was never bothered by it. She never felt the pressure of, social anxiety, none of that. She was just a fully independent person, and that's how she showed up in the world.
That's awesome, I think.
And she is an awesome person. I mean, it's just uncanny the way that she moves in the world, because she really is not bothered by any of that. But my point is
Mm-hmm.
that most people take their life experiences and they just use that to beat up on themselves and have some negative self-talk. Sometimes it can be used in
Mm-hmm.
a positive manner to motivate you, like, come on now, you need to get yourself together, because that's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. But most often it's not,
Mm-hmm.
and it really causes harm because it's constant.
Mm-hmm.
It's on that loop. So
Yeah, it's you made an interesting point. The words cause them to work even harder, or if they miss the mark, in their mind the first time, they're going to go harder the second time, which I find to be very interesting in terms of the way that those people's minds work.
well, but so there's conversation, well, not conversation, but some of the things that I read is that happens, but it's more along the lines of that coach that pushes you. So negative self-talk can be the coach that pushes you for that moment, but it's really short durations. It's not something that's sustainable over the long haul. So say if you have a
Mm-hmm.
deadline, because I'm famous for, right up to the moment, and then, oh, okay, you gotta pull this together, and then hunkering down and knocking it out. But you can't
Mm.
sustain that kind. Negative
It's not
self-talk
sustainable.
does not sustain you. And so that's the difference. So it can be used in a very positive way to motivate you for a split second or for a short duration, but it's not something that's sustainable or healthy because of all those cortisol,
Mm-hmm.
stuff floating through your body.
But again, I would be interested in finding a person who would say, or who operates in that way, that would own up to negative self-talk. Like, how
Well,
many
we
people
see
do
it.
we even find that's even in tune with the fact that they are talking to themselves? Like, awareness is one of the things. I don't think that people are
You don't
aware.
think so?
No, because here's a perfect example. I'm going to use tennis.
Okay.
Somebody hits the ball. Hey, LaShawn, why did you do that? Like, this is, oh, LaShawn, come on. Or, why did you hit the ball like that? While I think it is an intuitive thing for people to talk to themselves, I don't think that people are aware of the effect that it has. So
Okay,
that's the thing.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
They're not aware of the effect for sure.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm still wondering how many people even realize or have the awareness that they're talking to themselves.
Because how can people know they're talking to themselves?
How can they know, or how
No,
can they not know?
I think they do know that they're talking to themselves. But I agree that they don't know the
The
effect
fact.
that it
Mm-hmm.
has on them. I mean, because I've had conversations with people on the tennis court that said they say I have to get mad before I can play, and I'm like, really? Why do
Mm,
you have to be mad to play? And some
that's
people are like,
weird.
yeah, I can't play unless I'm angry. Well, why do you want to play angry? But
That's
then
weird.
see, I think that's weird. But a lot I've played with a lot of people, mostly men, who say that.
Oh, okay.
But
That explains that.
yeah, well,
No.
we
Another
are not male.
episode,
We're not
different
male
episode.
bashing. We're
No,
not
no,
male.
no. We're
but
not.
but it's like it's almost like it gets those competitive juices flowing or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. I
Yeah.
don't get it. But all them conversations people have with themselves and they don't know it. That I find that so hard to believe. It may be true, but I don't.
Yeah.
Mm, mm,
Um, so let's talk a little bit about, and you actually touched on it a little bit about what shapes or what influences the way that we talk to
mhm,
ourselves. And so there are a number of things, and I really believe that childhood experiences is number one
No
on the list.
question. No question.
Number one on the list,
Yeah.
from how we view ourselves,
Mhm.
the image of ourselves, hearing, just things that the adults or siblings or cousins or aunts, uncles, or whatever would, comments that they would make that to them was just,
They don't remember it at all. And you live with that and you constantly repeat that stuff to yourself and they didn't mean anything by it at all.
well, some of them do mean it, but
Well, yeah.
let's take a look at what influences or shapes the way that we talk to ourselves.
Mm.
You touched on it a little bit before, but I think the thing that's at the top of the list is childhood experiences,
Mhm.
like how we grew up, like our parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, or whomever, the comments that they would make
Mhm.
that, for them was just,
The comments and how we interpreted those comments.
yeah,
Because sometimes the comments were just benign. Like they didn't mean anything really and we assign all of this meaning to it and we walk off we walk off with all of this negative self-talk. Why? They didn't,
Yeah,
some
and I think at the time we probably didn't, like, as children, did we realize that this would be something that
mm,
would,
shape us.
resurface or shape, how we think about ourselves? And I would say no.
No, yeah, yeah, we wouldn't have the capacity to do that, to
Yeah.
understand. And that's an interesting point because if you think about yourself as a child, do you recall having negative self talk? Like I've always been chatty, I've always talked to myself, but I don't recall the negative self talk until about middle school, high school, college. But like in elementary school, everything was great.
Was it?
I can't recall the kinds of things I've said to myself in middle and high school, college,
Mm-hmm.
mother, adult. I don't recall those kinds of comments as a child.
Mm. I feel like for me, those conversations were going on in my head, like comparing myself to the other young ladies. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Even to now, as a grown up, and again, as a Black woman working in corporate America, you have things like imposter syndrome and all these things. And there is a constant, if I'm the only Black woman in the room,
Hmm.
there is a constant conversation that is going,
Really?
yes, always going on in my head. And it's
Like
not,
what, for instance? I'm just curious, if you don't mind.
yeah, like, I don't know, uh, like LaShawn, are you as prepared as she appears to be?
Really?
Yeah. Or as she, because I I have seen a multitude of situations in terms of, in meetings. Like the introverted person side of me is very observant,
Mm-hmm.
and I see performance. Like I recognize performative things,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and whether it is performative for this person or not, which I know that it is, how it's perceived is, oh, she's
Oh, she's on the
prepared,
ball.
she's on the ball. And that's what I have to compete against. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we as Black women
Yeah,
have
that's
to
true.
compete with, the perception
Mm-hmm.
of what this person, of this performance.
Hmm.
So, yeah, there is a,
I've never considered that. I talk to myself in a lot of different ways, but that's not one of them. Yeah.
yeah, I'm always like, okay, LaShawn, when it's your turn to talk, you need to be on it. And so that is, and it's not that I wouldn't be, it's just that I know that I have to do double what this person is doing
Mm-hmm.
to prove myself. And that's really just all that it is.
That's,
But
I mean, that's true,
yeah,
but yeah.
but it's still, me talking to myself to make sure that I show up the way that I want to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so with, childhood experiences, it is early interactions with adults,
Mm-hmm.
parents, siblings, mentors, and exposure to their attitudes and behaviors that significantly shape our self talk, which is
Yeah.
kind of unfortunate, right? Especially if it's, I mean, I'm not going to say it's unfortunate. It is what it is. Like, it's almost inevitable that that is the case. But so I think where it leaves us is that any now as adults, anything that anybody says, it's like, or if it's something like about us, like, it causes you to ponder, and it's like, do you adopt that as fact or
Mm-hmm.
truth about yourself? I
That's
mean, it's
very
something to think
interesting.
about.
Yeah, that is something to think about because I could see that as 20 something Sherry, 30 something Sherry, not so much at 40 something Sherry, and definitely not 50 something Sherry. Like I
Yeah.
just when people have things to say,
Mm-hmm. There's a dog here
who's bored
who
because
wants
he's yawning.
attention.
Um, but when people have very clear thoughts about me and how I show up and their opinions or whatever,
They've told
something
you this?
um sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sometimes not, but you could tell by interacting with people that they have certain thoughts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hmm.
I just I don't want to say this.
Say it.
I don't know if I care.
Okay. I
I
mean, it's
mean,
okay to say that.
not in a mean, nasty kind of way, but it's just like, I get it. This is how I showed up for you in this one experience, but I'm over 50. I have a whole history of life.
Yeah.
So I know I don't show up like that all the time, but I have this, that, and the third going on, or whatever it is, and for whatever reason, or maybe I was just in a mood or didn't get sleep or not feeling well, or if it was something really positive, then maybe I had a great night's sleep or a good workout or a great tennis match, and so but people try to can
Mm-hmm.
assign
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
a thing
Yes.
when they I mean that's just like a little sliver.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to get amped about what you think about me when I just met you.
Oh, if I just met you now, come on now.
Wow. Listen.
I know.
That's another whole
I
conversation
know.
because I'm famous for saying I just met you 2 weeks ago. Like, stop it.
But also,
That's another whole conversation right there, for real. If people think they can get away with it, stop,
right?
stop
Yeah, you
it.
got to stop them in their tracks.
Yeah,
I'm a
like don't do
believer.
that. Mm-mm. You teach people how to treat you.
Yes, absolutely. And, as context, what people say to you, like, I think my stance now is that depending on what it is, a lot of times it's a reflection of who they are.
Absolutely.
And it really has nothing to do
Right.
with you. Looking at things through that lens helps me not to take things personally at
Right.
this age.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I got a lot of stuff, but some of that I'm like I could give you a list. I could fill these cards up with stuff that I got with me. But you just having met me a year or two ago or 10 years ago, you have no clue, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just scratching the surface. You want some stuff? I can give you some stuff. Seriously,
You say you
but
can show them better than you
I
can tell you.
come on, somebody.
Y'all done got Sherry hot up in here.
No, seriously, and I think the reason why is because it's so easy, especially for women, to take that on
Mm-hmm.
as if it's true,
Mm-hmm.
and then start ruminating over a whole bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's not even true about you. Why? They don't even know you. And
Right.
and then they go down this whole, oh, I'm so this, or, oh yeah, and it's like, stop it. So
Yeah, it's interesting that because you and I recently, when we were on the court, had someone
oh,
who was just really ruminating.
really?
And I don't think we cared. Anyway,
That's true.
anywho, okay, so
And so hold on before before we go any further. So LaShawn sat here and talked about how she hasn't always been verbal and speaking her, but her face says
yes,
everything. And so when the person asked the question, oh well, what do you think? If y'all could have seen her face, and I was just giggling to myself on deep down on the inside because it was written all over her face. Like I wasn't thinking about you.
I really was not.
Yeah, then not in a mean, nasty way.
No,
It was
I
just she
just
just
wasn't.
wasn't.
I'm
Yeah,
always when I'm on the court, I'm trying to figure out how I can get the ball over the net in
and
the most
inside the lines.
exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, but what is funny is the nonverbal communication that you and I have on the court in certain situations. Because we were like, what is going on?
Girl.
But just some other things, and I mean, if you want to delve deeper into any of these, but cultural norms
Mm-hmm.
are, is something that influences self talk for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
No question.
Personal achievements and failures, psychological factors like mental health conditions for sure. Do
Ooh.
you want to?
No, I don't want to touch that one at all, but I know from firsthand experience that mental health is real
Mm-hmm.
and it's real important
Mm-hmm.
because the self-talk that goes on and I don't even know if that would qualify as self-talk.
I
That's
know.
something that's
That's a
something
totally
that's
different.
totally different. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't even want to put that in the same bucket.
Well, I don't think that it is putting it in the same bucket. However, if you have like existing mental health issues, then it definitely affects your how you talk to yourself.
Hmm. That's true.
So,
That's true.
and just whatever your current emotional state is. Certain women of a certain age, like your hormones
Lack thereof.
and, and all these things affect the way that you show up and the way that you perceive yourself and how you talk to yourself.
Yeah, that's true. But when you were saying that, what the question that came to mind is how do we normalize positive self-talk?
Yes.
Because we can sit here and talk for the next 3 hours about
Mm-hmm.
negative self-talk, but how do you normalize the positive self-talk.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's like a muscle,
Mm-hmm.
and we have years
That's
and
a good
years and
analogy.
years of experience of
Mm-hmm.
beating ourselves up. We do it better than anybody else.
Yeah.
All your haters can pale in comparison to how you can beat yourself up, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But how do we normalize positive self-talk?
Yeah.
And what can we do to um, start exercising that muscle?
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever tried it before? Have you ever tried?
I've tried it. I always revert back to work situations,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that is the situation that I can pinpoint for myself in terms of where I can say that I have intentionally, you know, transformed my how I speak to myself,
Mm-hmm.
because of a number of reasons, that you know
That was a loaded sentence. I would love to delve into that a bit more, but I don't think we can, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think that on our list of episodes, we have a topic about women in corporate America,
Oh,
right?
yes, we do.
So yes,
Okay.
um,
To be continued.
yes, but yes, that is the situation, the scenario, the thing in my life where I can pinpoint, that I have intentionally told myself, you need to transform your language about your qualifications, your experience, your credentials, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. What about you?
I think growing
Not
up,
the throat
I
clear.
had to clear my
Not
throat.
the. This is going to be
Yeah,
serious right here.
listen. Are y'all sitting down?
When she clear that throat out of it, it's about to be a story.
And it wasn't even gonna be all that. But I was thinking of two different situations because you go to work a lot, when you think of your things. And for I think because of where I grew up and how I grew up, you know, really, really being in the minority, I don't see I don't have those same experiences at
Mm-hmm.
work. Like I know a lot of black people when they walk into a room, they scan to see how many black people are there.
That would be me.
I've never done that.
That is interesting, but I understand it because of. So you all need to go back to the first episode of, getting to know Sherry, where she talks about it because you grew up. Your family
Mhm.
was the only black family on your street,
Mhm.
so on and so forth. And then also you all you had some time in Japan,
Mhm.
and so it's interesting. Your perspective is interesting as a black woman.
Mhm.
How or the experiences that you've had. In terms of being how you view yourself as the only black woman in a room or in a meeting or whatever. How you approach that.
Yeah, it's I guess because it has always been,
Mm-hmm.
so it will always be.
Yeah.
So I just, and it wasn't until I moved into Prince George's County and had all these black friends when people were like, "Oh, we the only two black people in the room." I'm like, "Are we?" And then I'm looking around. I'm like, "Oh, we are." So anyway, I just find that really interesting from my perspective, it feels like that dictates people's lives. It dictates the doors they feel like they can enter
Mm.
because there are no other black people. And I'm like, well, what if you're supposed to be the first?
That is a good point. I think that well, right, because there is something to being the first,
Right.
right? I think also for a lot of black people, they want to see familiar face, not familiar in terms of knowing the
Right,
people,
right,
but
right. But
they want to see other black faces in the room. But you're right, there is something to you being the first black face
mm-hmm.
in the meeting, in the boardroom, in the restaurant, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So I think there are two ways to look at that.
Yeah, and neither is right or wrong. It's just it's a different perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
But we have gotten way off topic.
Yet another episode to come.
We got lots to talk about.
So we've talked about, if self negative self-talk can motivate people. We've talked about that. And listen, if there's anyone out there who negative self-talk motivates you, please put it in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah, if you have to get angry on the tennis court, the basketball court,
the pickleball court,
the boardroom, if you need to slam your fist on the table at the meeting after you file for unemployment because you can't do that. But if you need that anger to get you going,
we'd be interested to talk to you. So let us know. Yeah. Let us know for sure.
But I was gonna say, you refer to the corporate world a lot in terms of kind of your
point of reference.
Of reference. Yeah. That's a perfect way to say it. I refer to tennis because I feel like I have struggled more on the tennis court than any other aspect of my life. Like,
really?
Yeah, because things, from my perspective, things have come relatively easy for me. Whether it's corporate, and that's not to say without problems.
Corporate comes easy to you. Okay.
Well, I had great training ground. No, I know, but I'm saying I had great training ground because I grew up in an all-white community.
Yes.
So I'm very familiar.
Yeah.
So it really was not. It wasn't a transition.
Do we need to dig deeper into that? Because I'm interested. I'm intrigued by that. But okay,
yeah, and going to a predominantly white university, all of those things, right? So I never felt uncomfortable. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
But tennis, I struggled. And I'm not saying that corporate America has been easy.
Yeah, I know.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's normal.
Yeah.
The tennis court has been a struggle. Mentally, the self-talk on the tennis court is wicked and deep. And I think it stemmed from the fact that, one, tennis was supposed to be my fun outlet. And so I was supposed to show up on the tennis court with a cute outfit on and laugh and giggle and meet new people. And because, I always like to meet new friends.
Yes.
And that was going to be it. And it is absolutely not that. Tennis is, they dress it up as the gentleman's sport, and it's not that.
No.
It's and I thought that I could literally, when I first started playing tennis, I thought I could take my brain out and sit it on the shelf and just run around and sweat and hit a ball and wear cute outfits. And that it's so not true. And I think so for me, tennis is a microcosm of life. And so you have to, it's you out there for all the world to see, your flaws and all, your winners, your flubs, your mental, your self-talk on the tennis court is evident.
Yes.
For everyone to see. So you don't have to say a word. Your body language is showing everyone the negative self-talk that's going on. And if you are really feeling yourself like, damn, I could play some tennis.
You hit that ball and turn your back on that shot and walk back to the baseline.
Because you know already that was a winner, that you did that. And you serve better, you hit the ball better. And it could just be because you woke up feeling good.
I didn't think that you felt that way about tennis. It's
horrible. Oh my, it is early on, especially with tennis.
When you were playing league, like
when I was playing league.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Wow.
It was, I have had therapy sessions about how I felt on the tennis court.
Me. And this is no judgment.
I feel very judged.
No.
But it's true. It was because I couldn't figure it out. I was like, why is this such a big deal to me?
Yeah.
Why am I acting like this? This is just tennis. Why can't I bump up to a 3-0? Why can't I just...
Listen.
That's how I was feeling.
And see, so this brings us to a good point because we like literally we are our worst
Mhm.
own critic, our
Mhm.
own worst
Mhm.
critic.
Mhm.
And because I'm gonna tell you, when you hit that ball, and I am not, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mhm.
If you look in a mess, I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
might need to work on your form.
No, you'll just giggle because you know you hit the ball crazy when Sean is like, she'll look at you like,
The master of hitting the ball crazy. So I know what it looks like. But you hit the ball so well. I'm telling you. Sherry has phenomenal top. She like in like it's your second nature or first nature for her to hit the ball with top spin. And I've even asked you, how do you hit the ball with all of that top spin? And you would be like, oh, it's just
First of all, I don't talk like that.
oh, it's just
Because have y'all ever seen me do this? Now
it's
you
just
putting
natural.
10 on 20 with all you you a damn lie now.
The first time I asked you, oh, it's just natural. Oh, okay. Okay.
She
Meanwhile,
exaggerating.
I hit a hard flat ball.
Yes, she does.
Sherry will hit that top spin on both the forehand and the backhand. So I don't know what negative talk she's talking about, but okay. I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
it's
your journey is your journey.
yeah, and I'm telling you, it was wicked and deep. I have The Inner Game of Tennis. That book, have you ever heard of it?
I've never bought any books on tennis.
Oh my God.
And
So
when I start getting paid for it, that's when I'll start reading books about it.
let me tell you guys something. The Inner Game of Tennis is such a phenomenal book,
Mm.
and it transcends tennis. What it talks about is the mental game,
Mm-hmm.
and it applies to corporate America because there's self one and self two. Self one, I may have this wrong because it's been some years since I read it, but self one is, you know, your conscious self, and
Mm-hmm.
self two is the what's talking, what's telling you, you know, oh, you're not good at that. Oh, you better talk like you're on point in this meeting. And it's that self too.
That
And
is so
so
good.
there's this duality
Mm-hmm.
within us.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do with self two? And who is self two? Is
Yeah.
that you talking, or
Yeah.
is that something else? And so I've read a ton of things about this particular subject, and the analogy that helped me the most with it is there is this guy. All I can think of is his name is Ed something. I know it's Ed.
Mm-hmm.
He's an Asian man. Um, he he's like a sports psychologist type person, and he likens.
You have gone deep.
I'm telling you, this was a struggle. This whole self talk is real to me,
Okay.
but he likens that self talk to a train and standing on the platform of a train station, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, when that self talk comes, it's like a train pulling into the station, and you can either choose to get on
Mm.
and
You better speak on it.
and deal with it, or you can wait for the next train.
Ooh.
And so when those negative things come, you could just let them leave the station because you can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stop what your brain thinks of. And you know, it just comes. And that's why meditation is so important, and all
Yeah.
of that, so you can
Yes.
learn how to see the thought or be
Yes.
aware of it and let it pass.
Awareness. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And but the good thoughts, you want to get on that train,
Yeah.
and you want to really engage with those good thoughts to help you out. So yeah, girl, when I tell you it has been a struggle.
And what is interesting to me, and I know that we probably need to wrap this episode up, is there a, for me, there is a connection. Like if I win a match, like today I played a match that I lost,
Mhm.
and I felt like like it was a very competitive match. Do you ever connect that win to how you then approach your week?
Never.
Never. Okay. Okay.
Do you?
Ooh, I feel judged.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
I'm like, I'm
there is
wondering.
a certain like
I'm the shit.
It make no, but it makes me feel good.
Do you
So
feel like this?
it puts me in a certain positive frame of mind. Like if I won that, then I can win this.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've never ever.
Okay,
Maybe that's
it's okay.
why
It's
it's been a
okay.
problem for me.
It's okay. Let's give the people some tools.
Hey y'all, our apologies for such an abrupt ending, but after watching this episode ourselves, we thought that it was so good and that we needed to provide our viewers time to watch the episode and digest it. So we're going to follow up with a part 2 where we provide tips on how to build a healthier inner voice. Make sure you have your notifications set and let us know what you think in the comments.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Two Chicks, One Vibe. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to like, share, and follow on all social media platforms and Spotify. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we will see you all on the next episode.